Cheers.
Oh shit.
Oh, that is a tasty beverage.
Oh yeah.
There we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, in that technicolor rainbow between, it's your boy Trey Prop.
It's your boy Weekend Herb.
And it's your boy, Mr. Petty. No Mephisto jokes today.
Every week with this guy.
Hey everybody, I'm Rick.
Thank you guys for joining us once again on Blerds and Whiskey live on Facebook as well as YouTube. We got a great show as always lined up for you. And so gentlemen, what you drinking this week?
Aviation and Sprite.
Okay.
Classic. Yeah. I am drinking a Moscow Mule, but what I did differently is I did Tito's vodka, and I did the lime juice, but I did ginger beer, but I did a hibiscus ginger beer. I found that out, so I used that, and it's actually pretty tasty. Got to make this for y'all one day.
Yes, absolutely. I would like to try that one.
So,
what crazy concoction do you have this week for us, Rick?
Does it involve a toilet?
So did you know that there are websites where you can actually hire grave robbers to go to graves and actually export things that you may want? So I found this website. I'm not going to put it up because, you know, we'll get in trouble. And I hired some grave robbers to go to Mexico to get me a couple bullets and the hat, a couple bullets out of his bandolero and the hat of Pancho Villa. And so this week I used I got the bullets open. I used the gunpowder, and I got some tequila and some margarita mix, and I made it in the hat of Pancho Villa. So this week I'm drinking the essence of Pancho Villa in a margarita.
I hate you.
Bro, we got to nickname him Dark Web Rick.
Dark side of the cup.
Can't stand you. A while back, I got a bottle of Willet bourbon, and I'm finishing that off today. I'm at the last little bit. Took one shot. It's probably one shot left, but I mix it in with some vanilla Coke, which is a tasty beverage, and that's what I'm partaking in today.
I want a quick answer to Jamaica. Actually, I got it from Safeway. It's those the beers, the mixers aisle with the Q's on them or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah. So just pick up the hibiscus ginger beer.
All right. Okay.
That's after that long ass story I just went on. They ask about the hibiscus ginger beer.
Yes, because
one is legal.
Yes. Mr. Petty, before we get into our church announcements, you do have a special announcement for us. Yeah,
well, not really a special announcement, but I do want to give a quick shout out to the Van Peebles family. R.I.P. Melvin Van Peebles. He passed away recently. I personally want to give him a shout out because as a entrepreneur and trailblazer, the actual genre of blaxploitation films, the for us by us mentality, the punk rock-esque, like, hey, they're not making movies featuring us, so I'm gonna make a movie featuring us. The Sweetback's Revenge. He's like a filmmaker. Every Black filmmaker owes him a debt of gratitude. Mario Van Peebles was also his son, so he's pretty much got a lineage in Hollywood. But we lost a great one. Blaxploitation films, indie films, Spike Lee, all those people like that. If you think about like a trio, a hierarchy, it starts with him. So, R.I.P. to a great one.
Salute.
All right. Weekend Herb, if you will.
Why you say it like that? The fuck? You better put some respect on my name, nigga.
Fuck you. Who you think you talking to, nigga? Weekend Herb. Oh, and the story about drinking from a dead guy's hat didn't monetize. Anyway, do your thing.
Made it in a dead guy's hat. Didn't drink it.
I know the rules of YouTube.
As always, Herb's Blurbs. Check out my webpage on YouTube under Herb's Blurbs. Every Thursday, I put out some more work. Like, share, subscribe. OTCV. Be sure to go on.
What's up with your voice, dude? What was that?
I don't know.
You go through puberty?
After 30 puberty.
I'm going to my second puberty.
OTTV on Roku. Be sure to check out the homie Overtime Sims on his channel on Roku. You can watch prior episodes of Blerds and Whiskey on there as well. So give the homie a look. So Disney Plus put out a new anime series called Star Wars Vision. I haven't got to look at it yet because there's just a lot of content out there. But what did you guys think when you first heard this?
I haven't looked at it. Don't care.
I like anime and I like Star Wars, so I'm going to be looking forward to it.
Just gotta be freaking difficult. Yes, it is. I haven't sat down to watch it yet. It is. I think it's the full series up on there now. But I'm looking forward to it. As soon as I get some free time, I'm sitting down to watch that.
Apparently, we got a comment from Ambitious Boogie. She said it's fire.
Oh, okay. I mean, just the different aspects of seeing Star Wars.
I mean, is it still trilogy. Canon, or is it like Animatrix?
I don't think it's canon. I think it's an. Yeah, I think it's an. I don't know when Animatrix was canon, but I don't think this is canon at all. I think it's just stories that are told and animated by different people. So, I'm looking forward to it. I've known about it for a while. I missed it when it first dropped out, but it's definitely at the top of my list.
Alrighty. But one thing that I am looking at right now. And I gotta thank the homie Trey Proper for this. Why The Last Man? It's on on Hulu, FX Hulu. So that is an actual dope show so far. I'm up to date on it. Trey, go ahead and tell them about this joint, man, because I'm just yeah.
So Waterless Man is basically a story. I think it's Dark Horse Comics. It's another story that's based on a comic book. Imagine a world, if you will, post-apocalyptic, where everything with the Y chromosome dies. So there are literally no males on the face of the earth, except for one man and his monkey. And he goes through the trials and tribulations of trying to find his fiance, who's actually in Australia while he's stuck in New York. And
FYI, that's not a euphemism. It's an actual monkey.
Yeah, really. Yeah, monkey. Yes, his monkey's named Ampersand. And it's one of my favorite comics. I was reading it. Actually, was reading it back in 2003 when I graduated high school. I started reading it then. It's ended since then, of course. Of course, I know how the story ends. It's going to make you laugh. It's going to make you cry. Based on what I've seen so far, I've seen 3 episodes so far, and it's amazing. They kind of skipped over a lot of stuff as far as him traveling from one place to another, but I'm not going to be a stickler about it.
Yeah,
I just said I'm not. Be an asshole. But yeah, it's pretty good. So. No. But it's a damn good. So far, it's a damn good show. York is the main character. He's the man that's left alive, and he's probably going to piss you off for the first 2 episodes.
He already has.
But give it a chance. He does. I foresee a lot of character development with him. He's going to become a better man as things go along, if it goes that way. But he's pretty much a whiny little bitch right now. So.
Cam, you beat me to it by 2 seconds. Also, shouldn't this be a really short show? Shouldn't it essentially just be like, oh, it's The Last Man, death by Snoo Snoo, death by Snoo Snoo, and it's over.
So literally, he's the last man on Earth. So he's gonna have to find his high school sweetheart who dumped him at prom. She said, "I wouldn't date you, the last man on Earth." He's like, "Well."
How the turntables turn.
Friends on that. But yeah, definitely give it a chance. They dropped 3 episodes. Episode 4 just dropped. 4. Yeah, give it a shot.
No, it's 4 episodes out right now. It comes out every Monday.
What I just said.
Just put up 5 fingers.
How you heard Blurb's number? Like, how do you do that, man? You got this down to a science, man.
It's 4 episodes. It's 4. They put up 4, guys.
Oh, man. Peace out.
Moving on.
Please.
Moving on. This Friday, October 1st, Sony decided to say, hey, why don't we put out Venom? I'm kind of hesitant on it, but we've had this conversation before as far as what we feel about the movie.
I mean,
My sole reason.
I love how it's so like accurate, comic book accurate, man. It's like that's the best thing about it, man. Like it's like the writers of that one saw the book and was like, you know what? We're not gonna change a thing. Keep this blueprint right here.
We're gonna make this a panel for panel adaptation. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be amazing. Like Carnage is gonna be born because Cletus Cassidy is actually part vampire. It's just so awesome, and I'm so excited for this movie.
It's
this Friday at your local theater. Catch us and the rest of the world out there to see Venom. I'll be at Tyson's because I'm an elitist. What about you, Trey Proper?
I'm gonna watch it begrudgingly. I'm going because it is a comic book movie. I have to go. I'll be maxed.
It's also a Marvel film too.
Yeah, technically yes.
Technically, no. It's a Marvel film.
It is.
It's featuring a Marvel character.
I refuse to call it that, but I will.
It's
be
not MCU. It's not. But it's Marvel.
I know. Stop trying to trigger me this early in the show. Can we get to later in the show before we do that?
The best part is Venom and his spider insignia all over his chest. That's my favorite part of the Venom movies.
Yeah. I wish I had a symbiote right now. Anyway, I'm not looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to tearing it apart. I'm looking forward to picking it apart like I usually do. It's going to be a disappointment. And it's PG-13, so we're gonna have symbiotes biting off heads.
Blends in the background,
and no blood, no nothing, no arterial spewing anywhere, none of that. And you got Cletus Cassidy. He's a psychopath. He should be writing Carnage rules on the wall with somebody's limb. That's what should be happening, but. Jazz Howell. He can't even read the room.
I love my girl.
Wow.
So all right. So in conjunction to what everyone was saying, we have Miss Howell saying Herb can't even read the room.
Okay. But speaking of
reading. Let's go ahead and speaking of people that things we've read before in comic book accuracy, let's go ahead and start our character of the week. Character of the week. So today's character of the week is Edward Brokowski, also known as Eddie Brock, better known as Venom. Now, to explain Venom, you gotta go back to Secret Wars, blah, blah, Battle Worlds, Spider-Man, bonded with this alien costume. He didn't know it was alien at the time. He just thought it was a black blob. Why? I don't know. He just looked at it and said, hey, this is pretty cool. And then he thought about Spider-Woman's costume, and then he formed the classic black Spider-Man costume. Then he found out it was an alien host that was trying to bond with him permanently, a symbiote, or symbiote, or symbiote. Anyway, one of them, the symbiote, was trying to take over as permanent bond with the host. Reed Richards discovered that. He got rid of it. Extreme sound and fire are the two weaknesses of symbiotes. So church bells rang, painfully detached himself from Peter Parker, and then eventually found a new host, Eddie Brock. Now Eddie Brock became Venom. The symbiote had extreme hatred for Peter Parker, and Eddie Brock at the time, who was diagnosed with cancer, out of a job. He was a disgraced news reporter for a bad story, and he blamed Spider-Man for all this, everything that's going wrong with his life, losing his wife, girlfriend, eviction, job, blamed on Spider-Man. So both of them with extreme hatred of Spider-Man combined and formed Venom. Basically like a poison to Spider-Man. That's how they got the name. Venom was also one of Todd McFarlane-esque creation. Though a lot of people kind of can take credit for Venom, but Todd McFarlane has by far been the most credited one. Venom made his first appearance as Venom in Spider-Man 1984. Don't ask me how, but somehow that's racist. I just don't sit right. Let's fast forward a few years, because basically he was one of Spider-Man's arch rivals. He basically was the saber-tooth to Spider-Man's Wolverine. Eventually in the 90s, when the anti-hero was a big boom, who better than a more popular villain to be reformed became Venom, Lethal Protector. Because comics. I mean, Eddie Brock never really saw himself as a bad guy per se, even though he was like psychotic and tortured and probably killed people. But hey, it is what it is. Lethal protector. Venom has had many hosts throughout his time. He had Peter Parker at one time. Then he had Eddie Brock, which is the more famous one. Matt Corrigan, who was formerly a Scorpion. And then you also had Agent Venom, which was actually Flash Thompson, which was a childhood bully of Peter Parker, but a big fan of Spider-Man. Like, he was such a Spider-Man fanboy, he joined the army. Lost his legs in the war, down and out of his luck, still working for the government. He was a perfect candidate for them to use the symbiote as a control substance through sheer willpower. And within 48 hours after that, did he lose control of the symbiote. So he became Agent Venom, which is like pretty much like a gun-toting Venom, which is already deadly enough, but just this Venom with military training. All I have to say that Venom has been a very popular character throughout all the Spider-Man lore. He's probably one of the most popular characters out of the Spider-Man universe. So popular that he's had at least 2 movie adaptations. Shout out to Topher Grace. Killed it, man. Tom Hardy's crackhead portrayal of Eddie Brock. Shout out to Sony for still trying to make Venom a thing in movies. Because it works. He's also been featured in all the Spider-Man cartoons from the 90s and up. Spider-Man animated series, Spectacular Spider-Man, Ultimate Spider-Man, video games too. Shout out to Venom. Now, back to you guys. Like, share, subscribe.
And that was our character of the week, brought to you by I Wish I Was Clothing. Have you ever had an article of clothing that looks like one thing but wishes to be something else? This week, Mr. Petty was wearing the I Wish I Was a Turtleneck t-shirt. So head down to your local clothes mart and pick up I Wish I Was Clothing.
He's only missing the fanny pack. That's it, man.
I don't know if I was trying to be The Rock or cosplay as a low budget Venom, or trying to be like Vision. I don't know, Vision, whatever.
You know what?
Like, I mean, y'all gonna leave my mock turtleneck alone.
He looked
It's a turtleneck.
It was just a long sleeve shirt.
It was a turtleneck missing the turtle.
But all jokes aside, shout out to Jamaica on YouTube.
No brand.
Okay, Cam, with the visuals, you did it on this one, homie. That was amazing. That was good shit.
It was.
Yeah, y'all can check that out, and my mock turtleneck on YouTube every Monday uploaded. Except it's like just like my neck wasn't fully downloaded, y'all can download these videos.
Off camera guy, we've got our first Mr. Petty merch. We got to put Mr. Petty on the back and just get a mock turtleneck. That's straight.
Y'all bushing around. We about to really sit here and storyboard these fucking I Wish I Was clothing.
Yeah.
Fucking sweatpants that wish they were joggers.
Oh man! Well, speaking of amazing good times, did everybody see What If?
Oh, I did see What If. I love this is canon Thor. This is canonically accurate Thor to me. Like, you know, the Hercules, the flam, you know, the party boy, the arrogance, perfect Thor.
Frat Thor. Yeah.
Yeah. I enjoyed this episode, not just because it started out in Vegas. But it was actually kind of funny, you know what I mean? And like I especially love the part at the beginning. You knew what type of party it was gonna be when Frigga is sitting there and they're trying to put Odin into the Odin sleep, and you see Thor just sitting at the bedside looking at his nails like, hurry the fuck up and fall asleep, old man. I'm trying to get out of here. And then Frigga was a little bit of she was a
Dragon
party
Mom?
witch. No, she was a party witch because she was like, if you notice, she had her homegirl singing him to sleep so that they could get the fuck out of there and go drink Chardonnay for the next 100 years or so.
She had a girl's trip waiting.
Right. She was just like, anyway, my husband's asleep now, bitches. Let's go. We about to do this. Like,
No, she getting ready for brunch.
Yeah. So I mean, it was a nice it was a bit of a break from the tension of the last few episodes. You know what I mean? It was a nice levity episode, so that's why I pretty much enjoyed it.
And I say, I just need What If to give me a break from Chadwick Boseman doing the voices, because that every time he does one, it still hurts me. So I was like, oh, good, I can, my heart can heal now.
Right.
It was kind of like a breath of fresh air with this last episode to me. Just seeing every single person, like seeing the Skrulls there, seeing what's his name, just everybody from, as far as going from Guardians of the Galaxy to hell, just people that's there. It's Shield. It's just, and then just it was the Looney Tune version of I'm gonna hit you from one country to the next country. For me, that shit was funny to me.
Yeah, with the country names all in bold and letters on it.
Right.
Real quick, I just want more Grandmaster all the time. Jeff Goldblum, I love you, and that man must be protected at all times.
Was that really his voice?
That was actually Jeff Goldblum. That was Jeff Goldblum doing his voice. And then they even had, if you notice, like his henchman with him, Topaz, she was with him, and she had that big melt stick. So I was just like, man, I wonder who the fuck stepped on the Grandmaster's cloak and then got melted. That's probably got to be awesome. But also like there were little intricate details like Herb was mentioning as far as like a bunch of different people from a bunch of different movies or whatever. But if you actually go back and listen to it, there's a hype man in it for Thor. Like every time, like at one point Thor is talking to Jane Foster, you hear this guy in the background going, "Woo, God of Thunder!" And Thor's like, "Yes, be safe." Or whatever. Like it's like you got to listen to the back. There's a lot of comedic details in this one.
No, the only thing that was missing from the last part when he said, "Guys, listen, party's over. My mom's on her way and she is pissed." The only thing that was missing was like the Ferris Bueller montage of like you know, it was like
a slow-mo run, jumping over the fence, all that.
Right.
Yeah.
He shake the Leaning Tower of Pisa.
But one more thing, even the fact that he just dropped Mjolnir on what's the name, on Captain Marvel.
Yeah, like you're not worthy.
He's like, you're not worthy.
So of course,
so that means that was was Thor still worthy of the hammer the entire time, or because remember he had the hammer before he got before Odin enchanted it, so maybe he wasn't mad enough at Thor this time to enchant it to be worthy. So then it doesn't make sense why Captain Marvel couldn't lift it.
So it's always had the enchantment. Canonically, it's always had the enchantment, but this one I'm assuming he did. But keep in mind, him and Loki were not raised together, right. So he may have had a different story arc where he became unworthy and reacquired the hammer. So that's just things we can fill in with our own speculation. But yeah, I enjoyed it overall. Of course, I got to be a party pooper. I got to be the party pooper.
Here we go. All right, I'm ready.
Captain Marvel ain't that fucking strong. Nope. There's no way she can go toe to toe with the God of Thunder. I'm just no.
So actually, they set precedent for this in Infinity War and Endgame. Like they said in the MCU, she is the strongest hero. Now, because of Brie Larson's performance, they've kind of like moved away from it. But I mean, they just reinforced that in this. You know what I mean? Like she essentially right now, she is the strongest person in the MCU. And we don't know what the hell's gonna happen with Thor's character after Love and Thunder, because I mean, he's gonna be pushed to his next limit in this. So I mean, and honestly, even on she wasn't the strongest character on this show, honestly, because there was a very, very terrifying thing that happened at the end of this. They even caught Uatu off guard because Uatu was kind of wrapping up the story. And and then he goes, "Wait, what?" And then
it went from what if to what the
right. and then Ultra Vision pops out, and the fact that Uatu didn't see him shows that he is what's the word I'm looking for? What did they say that the Scarlet Witch was? She's a
nexus event,
a nexus being,
a nexus level being, yeah. And because he showed up, he was using Ultron's face as like a mask for Vision's face, and then he had all of the Infinity Stones or gems implanted in his body, which I don't know about the rest of y'all. That's fucking terrifying to me.
So here's a couple of things that didn't make sense to me for that to happen. So if Thor obviously didn't join the Avengers, so there was no, because Loki didn't turn evil. So apparently, like if Odin just minded his business, Loki would have been fine. Because he was also like, wasn't he like king of the Bifrost Giants by this time?
Well, the prince, because his father is the king of the Frost
right,
Giants.
Right.
So he was Prince Loki.
Right. So he probably had a better chance of ruling kingdoms as a frost giant than he would, under Odin's rule.
Mm-hmm.
So if Odin just left him alone, that's separate. So if Odin didn't turn evil, then there was no Thanos for him to be a lackey of. So therefore, the event in 2012 with the Avengers didn't happen, which means that Tony Stark wasn't going to be obsessed with trying to fix everything. So then he wouldn't have created Ultron. Without Ultron being created, then Ultron would have never created a second body, which was what Vision was. And if y'all remember in MCU, Vision is Thor literally Frankenstein Vision to life.
So here's the thing. That Ultron or that Ultra Vision isn't from that dimension, right? That Ultron traveled across universes. You know what I mean? That Ultron isn't from that universe.
Was that established? How do you know?
So
I was gonna say.
I mean, but you basically just said the reason why he's from a different universe. All of the events that would have led to him being created in the MCU didn't take place in that universe, right? Correct. Because there was no Loki and none of that stuff. And the fact that Uatu did not see him coming tells you that he is a Nexus level being. He's basically been so. All right, Trey's gonna hate this, but follow the analogy. Remember how Cypher's plane would fly through they would find blind spots in the radar, so to speak. Mm-hmm. Essentially, that's what that Ultra Vision is that powerful that he's been flying through blind spots through the multiverse. And that's how he just pops up into this one at that point, which is gonna lead into. So I think the next 2 episodes are gonna lead to a sort of forming of a what if Avengers. Because in that mid-season trailer, we see that formulation of all of these heroes all together, and they do that pan around shot.
Boy, so who's left for the what if Avengers though? Who is it? Because think about it. Because all the episodes, all the Avengers have been evil. Like without like certain events, most of the Avengers have been evil, except for like Captain Carter, Steve Rogers, if he's still alive, but he's gonna be an old man.
Star-Lord T'Challa.
T'Challa's dead.
No, Star-Lord T'Challa.
I'm sorry, you're right. All right. So Star-Lord
or Star-Chala.
Star-Chala. All right, so we got Star-Chala. That's possibly 2, possibly 3. I don't know if we're gonna count Steve Rogers in the Iron Man suit, the Iron Giant.
They had Black Widow showing up, and what's the name?
I was about to say they had Mad Max Black Widow, and then Gamora, who was wearing Thanos's armor and the helicopter sword. So I mean, now remember, it's 9 episodes. We got 2 more episodes left. So we're I'm pretty sure this next episode is going to establish how we form the Uatu Avengers, and I'm pretty sure it's going to give us pretty good background on all of that.
So part of the Nexus event, if Ultra Vision is powerful enough to slip through the cracks or the blinks or whatever of the Watcher, so is zombie Thanos as powerful too?
No. So this is my reasoning why. I honestly don't think that if it happened, the Ultra Vision is from that universe. Something happened where Vision was still created, and he's from that universe. But keep in mind, canonically throughout the MCU, the Infinity Stones do not traverse universes. That's been in the comics as well as
so you're saying in one dimension the stones don't cross over into the other dimension.
Yes, because keep in mind
but it doesn't work.
It doesn't work. If they become paperweights in other you have to take them back to their original universes. But if hence
the TVA when they were paperweights in the TVA. Okay.
Yes. Mm-hmm. All right. So you can't take an Infinity, but when you have the Infinity Gauntlet, Thanos didn't get to display it in Endgame, but when you have it, you pretty much become that universe canonically. If we're talking about the original Infinity Gauntlet, you become that universe ultimately when you fully use the powers. He used it for one wish, so he didn't fully understand his capabilities, and he was able to use them again to destroy them. So Ultra Vision may have a little bit more forethought when he acquires them and can do that, or he is going around universe to universe picking up the different Infinity Stones, or the TVA is out of whack. They're pretty much out of control. So that Nexus event that happened with Loki, branching off all those universes, one could be traversing all the way through or be an agent of who? The next big bad, Kang. And those are power sources that you have for each universe. So there's a multitude of different scenarios. And to answer your question, Ambitious Boogie, she said, are all the episodes connected? That I hope this does answer your question, because yes, they are going to be wrapped up like Rick Strose said in the next 2 episodes. They're going to be lined up. So
and also everyone, don't forget, these shows are canon. What If is canon. Like it is actual canon to the MCU. So whatever's about to happen, I promise you. Well, I don't promise you because I'm not in the writer's room, but I'm pretty much 90% sure that it's going to have some type of effects on what's going on in the next couple of movies. Stop it, fucking Cam.
No, I'm just saying like that. It's all connected. That means we're going to have more Captain Carter showing up, and I'm all for that. I'm like, yes.
Man,
you thought,
nah. I thought you were gonna go back there. I'm sorry.
Chill,
Miss Scoozy. But if I get to look at Haley Atwell in a Captain Carter suit in live action throwing that shield and them yams. I
don't like. Are they gonna do camera angles? Is she gonna be wearing stilts? Like, how's this gonna happen?
She's definitely gonna have to bulk up.
She absolutely have to bulk up, and I mean,
we talking about like Gal Gadot had to work out, and all she got was just like really fit.
We ain't got time for Gal Gadot.
But ladies, listen, if you want to get your Captain Carter cosplay on, you should head to blerdsandwhiskey.com and go to our partners page and click on that tab for FNXFit.com. FNXFit.com has everything that you need to be able to throw a shield and have your butt poking out, or you know what I mean? Just be able to bench press your boyfriend because you feel like he's stepping out on you. Use the promo code FNX Blerds13 and you can get your whey proteins, your pre-workouts, your fitness clothing, your super green vitamins, your CBD oils, everything that you need to become your most thickalicious Amazonian Captain Carter itself.
Delicious.
The promo code is FNX Blerds13 to get 15% off all your purchases.
Does this come with that water? Because you're kind of thirsty.
Exactly. But we need a t-shirt that says Thickalicious.
Man,
those would be better as shorts, to be honest.
Listen, yeah. I'm single and I want a girlfriend that cosplays, so hey.
Hey.
They exist, man. We'll, hey, if you can hear the sound of our voices, we need to get Rick Strose a cosplay girlfriend.
October 22nd to the 24th. Comic-Con.
So we also have a lot of comments from Chuck Clark, who's joining in some of the conversations we're having about the Stones. So one of the things he mentioned is the rule is but that rule is in comics. It could be the Stones work in the MCU. They just don't work in the TVA because they're outside of everything. But also the rule could have changed in the death of Kang, breaking the sacred timeline.
Then we would have ultimate beings all over the place. Literally anybody in the timeline.
So basically he's kind of saying like how MCU itself, they take some creative liberties is different from Marvel Comics. So certain rules that they apply to in Marvel Comics don't apply to MCU, such as I don't know, like, all right, so this TikTok reminded me of I feel like he could be a Nexus being myself. Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, Mr. Wilson.
Nah, Ryan Reynolds himself.
Reynolds himself is a Nexus level being.
Correct. Yeah. Think about it. No, but think about it. He played Deadpool in the
We're
X-Men.
not doing this. You're not doing
Wolverine
this.
Origins.
No, let it happen. Let it happen, Trey.
He played X-Men in Ultimate in the X-Men Origins. With the Baraka-pool, if you want to call him like that. And that is apparently canon to the regular X-Men universe because those people, that's Wolverine's origin. And then Wolverine was shown as part of MCU, and that X-Men universe was shown to be part of the Deadpool, the one when Ryan Reynolds did the 2 movies. So Deadpool 1 and 2 did show characters from the X-Mansion, Colossus, Negasonic, Death Teen Girl,
Negasonic, most awesome nickname ever.
Yeah. They also had features of like the second generation of X-Men movie, Beast and Mystique and all of them. They showed them in a little clip room. Mm-hmm. Also, Deadpool was shown to be sitting on the couch with Korg as they did a reaction to MCU. So that makes, and with Fox acquiring Disney acquiring Fox, that means that now is part of MCU. So that's like almost 3. Also, Ryan Reynolds himself showed up in Deadpool talking to Wade Wilson. So that's already 2 or 3 people right there that Ryan Reynolds is portraying.
And also, he played one of the vampire hunters in
the MCU, right? Hannibal King.
As he played Hannibal King, and also remember, Triple H was the most amazing vampire ever. Remember that scene where he was running after the car?
And the Panamanium? and the Vampire Pan. So I'm saying Ryan Reynolds could be a Nexus being. Either that or Ryan Reynolds is Mephisto.
Which actually, that would be amazing if he played that role in the MCU.
You just went off on that long ass monologue to make a Mephisto joke, didn't you?
Yes, he did. Chuck Clark, Trey, they've literally been breaking comic book rules since the beginning. They've broken some, but none fundamentally to the universe. The Infinity Stones do not work in alternate universes. The MCU is a separate universe from 616. They don't break those rules. They don't break them. So, no, and we still haven't. We've heard of the Living Tribunal. We know that's a thing. Those rules are static. They're not changing. So
until Wednesday when they say fuck your rules.
Yeah, I'm saying
if I'm wrong, I will admit that I'm wrong. It's not that, but so far they haven't broken fundamental rules. They've augmented some things, they've changed some things, but it's pretty much stayed the same for the most part.
Need more lime.
Mm-hmm. Okay, but yeah, I will see. Aaron, too. I rolled on that Mephisto joke. Yeah, he's an asshole. We love him, but he's a fucking asshole.
Tall, don't encourage his behavior.
Make fun of my turtleneck.
Brittany Payne on YouTube.
No, it's just a neck. It wasn't a turtle anyway.
At least I got a neck, man. Whatever.
Brittany Payne on YouTube says she needs some Phoenix Fit so she can throw her man over his shoulders and have her way with him. Wow. Death by Snoo Snoo. No, most definitely.
Man, that is assault, man.
It is. You need consent, man. You need consent.
This is a Wendy's, man.
All right, next topic, gentlemen. Anything else to add to what?
Nah. I'm just looking forward to the next episode to see where we're gonna go with this.
Exactly.
Killmonger for president.
Leo. Every show.
Leo was hey, look, I got Bear Claw, you got Leo. We got to deal with this, man.
Leo said, I got something to say. Leo said, I got something to say about what if, god damn it.
He's like, where's crypto?
Right.
You don't know what Marvel and DC is.
Wrong universe. Go.
Anyway, move on to the next topic.
So another show that we've been watching as of late here at Blerds and Whiskey, Dark Side of the Ring. This is episode 2.
No. Better than Canyon.
This is actually episode 8 of season 3. Remember, they ended at 6 episodes at the beginning of season 3, and now this is the continuation of season 3. And this is episode 8.
Yeah, they had to explain that. Look, these shows take time.
Exactly. Look. Chris Jericho is doing everything else. He can only narrate for so many hours a week, guys.
Yeah.
And this episode was the tragic story of Chris Kanyon. For those of you that don't know, Chris Kanyon was one of the most underutilized wrestlers of his time. He was way ahead of his time. He was in WCW as Mortis and as Kanyon. He was in WWE for a while. And the reason why his story was tragic is because Chris Kanyon took his own life in the in 2010, I believe. And he lived his life as a closeted homosexual professional wrestler. And it was almost like a torturous existence. This episode of Dark Side of the Ring touches on how Chris was brought up Catholic, and he was brought that sexuality is an evil thing, and that you can't come out of the closet or reveal your true nature to anyone. And it basically led to a very, very tortured existence. And this episode touched on a lot of tragic things. It touched on his it was a really, really deep dive. Real quick, just off the subject, but on the subject, Dark Side of the Ring is an amazing, amazing show. If you've had any interaction with wrestling over your life and you get interested in some of these people, you should go back and find all the older episodes. It just gives you a deep dive into everything, and it touches on a lot of subjects that kind of open your eyes to the world of professional wrestling and who these people are outside of the ring. So please, even if you aren't interested in wrestling, if you like documentary series, you should give it a look, because it touches on everything. It has humor, it has sadness, it's character development, all of that.
It's on Hulu as well, all 3 seasons.
Yeah, they focus on the people and not necessarily the characters, and that's kind of the touching humanity thing that they bring. They humanize these people. And to touch on like what Rickshaw was saying, like in your mind in 2021, someone being homosexual or gay, it's like you're like, okay, cool, whatever. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't really strike you, but you got to keep in mind this was back in like this is in the early 90s. So like that's when it was big. But I'm talking about like as far as like the pro wrestling scene, y'all gotta understand like this is still like if y'all remember playing Live from Hell and whatever, that toxic masculinity like mindset turned on its head and cranked up to 11. Like that's the locker room mentality he had to deal with. And like the fact is he essentially never broke character like his entire time, like the entire time of existed. He had to make he had 3 characters he had to portray. And if either one of those overlapped, his world would crumble. And on top of that, he also had mental health issues that he went undiagnosed because, again, this is the early years where the self-diagnosing or diagnosing in general wasn't really a thing. He had bipolar disorder. It was something else. I can't remember right now, but he definitely was bipolar.
Depression.
Depression. Well, depression was caused from that, but his bipolar disorder was definitely in conjunction to him having to hide his true nature. So like a lot of times, one minute he'll be like the life of the party, next minute he's like trying to beat the crap out of his friend for him thinking that he thought something. You know what I'm saying? So it's like there's a lot that wins this episode, but focusing on Kanyon as a wrestler, like I'm sorry, go ahead, Rick. What are you about to say?
No, I was gonna say like the story about the Sinister Minister, telling where he Chris had a bipolar episode and he tried to choke him to death. So much so that he brought a gun. And
this is his best friend that lived with him.
And he had to defend himself from his best friend by pulling a gun on him. Like that's crazy. But focusing on some of the positive parts, and Cam, I believe this is where you're about to go. Kanyon was one of the most revolutionary wrestlers I've ever seen in my life. Like a lot of the new school style that people are using today, and they'll tell you this because the Young Bucks were on there. The Young Bucks and Brian Cage were on there saying, "My career is influenced by Chris Kanyon." You know what I mean? Like a lot of the moves and stuff that they were pulling out, he was doing them in WCW at a time when everybody just wanted big sweaty men or big meaty men slapping meats in the middle of the ring. And Kanyon is out here doing these revolutionary moves that is just killing the game. So I mean, I remember when he got to WWE and I was just like, why aren't they using him more? Like
I'll give you this one example of a move. Like his signature moves were just nothing more but transitional moves. Like I'll give you an example of like this one move. I watched one of his old matches, and he did like the tilt-a-whirl. He started off as a tilt-a-whirl, so it's like he runs to the ropes, and then he like literally is swinging his body around from full momentum, which you think is going to be either a tilt-a-whirl head scissors, which mostly that's what they do, which is when they swing their whole body around him. He turned into a tilt-a-whirl into a Russian leg sweep, and then still dropped on his back. Like and then watch it, it was like the smoothest like transition you've ever seen. I'm like, yo, how? And I mean,
was he like 6'7", 270 or something like that? Doing that?
He was like 6'3", 6'4".
Yeah, he was a big guy. He was a big guy, but he was a monster.
Yeah, he wasn't monstrous, but when he was dressed up as Mortis, he kind of had like a monstrous build, because he covered most of his. And
then also another thing that was touched on in this, and so we're learning from Dark Side of the Ring and just from general stories and people being over it and telling it. We're learning that a lot of our favorite wrestlers from childhood were just nothing but pieces of shit, right? and one of the stories that they touched on in this is where they were bringing back Kanyon in the WWE, and they had him pop out of a box. They had him do an angle with Mark Calloway, aka the Undertaker, and they had Kane dress up like Boy George and pop out of a box and sing "Do You Really Want to Hurt Me" to the Undertaker. And then what proceeded to happen was one of the most
heinous
it was one of the most disgusting shoot. I'm gonna say it was a shoot beatdowns of all time. It was a squash. He beat the shit out of Kane. And it went on for what felt like 30 minutes, but it was about 5 minutes. And it was one of the most disgusting chair shots you'll ever find. I said this before the show. I'm going to say this right now. I need for everybody who loves The Undertaker, I need you to be prepared for this. He's a fucking scumbag. And I promise you, a story that just makes everybody feel really uneasy is coming out in the next year or two. I know there is one. I clearly believe that there is a story about The Undertaker doing something fucked up to somebody with a racist overtone or something like that.
So I remember when we were watching, when I had the WWE Network. I don't have it no more because, fuck WWE. But like when I had the WWE Network, I was watching Undertaker's Last Ride. And there is Mark Calloway sitting there on his couch, talking the story. And I'm looking at his shirt, and it's a Thin Blue Line shirt. So I'm sitting here like, wait a minute. This is the first time in a long time, like, I don't like Mark Calloway. I still like The Undertaker. I do not like Mark Calloway as a person. When I saw that, I was like, and the worst part was, I wasn't like overly like, oh my God, clutching my chest, shocked that Undertaker supports the troops and the police. But I'm just sitting here. But I wouldn't even put it past him to think that, anyway. But yeah,
he's best friends with Vince McMahon. Like, how we not see this coming? As far as the whole Undertaker thing, I agree. I'm trying to mentally prepare myself for that day when it's just laid bare, and we find. He's still married to Michelle McCool, so we don't know if it's anything that happened there. But
for the most part, like from the stories I do hear about Undertaker, to be honest, like with the exception of like, I feel like a lot of stuff that happened in the locker room happened under his watch.
Him being the judge,
So he didn't. I think the fact that he didn't stop anything might be the catalyst to some of the stuff that's bad. But in general, he really he himself didn't like go out of his way to do stuff. He had pretty much people do stuff for him.
Well, let's for those who are not wrestling informed, there is such a thing in most wrestling locker rooms called the wrestler's court, where if someone has an grievance between each other, pretty much the top stars are the judge, jury, and sometimes executioner. At times it's been The Undertaker. At times it's been Triple H. JBL. Oh God, imagine him being your judge.
Oh, that's another one.
People like that. We know JBL.
I'm not even gonna be.
That's not even.
Let me see.
He literally stepped around in Germany. So just go look it up. Look up JBL.
I'm clutching my single gold chain
on YouTube.
But look, real quick. This is my surprise face about JBL being a racist. I am shocked and appalled by this turn of events.
My face for JBL's a racist.
Real quick, Chuck Clark says, I dread season 15 of Dark Side of the Ring when they cover the New Day, Bray Wyatt, Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, and Cody Rhodes. Well, we already know what's going to happen with the New Day because they're going to bring up Xavier Woods.
It's going to be the Page episode.
And Biggie
the real fighting with my family.
Yeah, that's
AKA she fighting with her kids.
Yeah, no.
She took care of some kids, all right.
Yeah, the kids with the championship belt.
AKA that category on X videos where it's just like family stuff.
Nope. Orange YouTube. I don't mention it here.
Nope.
Orange YouTube.
Man, that's wild.
Hashtag Orange YouTube. If you don't know what it is, you're too young to be here.
So yeah, I don't know, man. It's like the Young Bucks and Brian Cage, who are AEW affiliated now. Those people were trained by Chris Kanyon. And I remember Brian Cage, and found it when Brian Cage's reaction to Chris Kanyon coming out, because he did eventually feel comfortable enough to come out. However, it was also like probably a few years too late for WWE in their opinion, because he's got to be like he was probably pushing like late 30s at the time when he finally came out publicly, I should say. Yeah. And by then they already had like Orlando Jordan and other characters, other people who were coming out of the closet. But yeah, like the Canyon, like I said, underrated, underutilized, hella respected by all of his peers. Like Chris Jericho, Diamond Dallas Page, everybody in WCW talks about how great of a person he is and a great performer and underutilized. Recently, John Cena is coming under fire for comments that he made.
So exactly what did he say?
So Chris Canyon was on Howard Stern. And that's kind of how he publicly came out. Well, one of the things he's doing was he was coming out. The issue is that sometimes he would say it was a work, and then sometimes he would say it's the truth, like it's a shoot about him being gay or coming out gay. And then sometimes he would use it as like an excuse that's why WWE fired him, is because he was found out that he was a homosexual in their ranks, and they was like, oh no, now we got to get rid of him, and they fired him. He said that was his story. The following day, John Cena was on Howard Stern, and Howard Stern brought that up. He's like, "Hey, we had a gentleman the other day, Chris Canyon." He's like, "Yeah, I heard that show. I heard his comments." He was saying basically, so as a spokesman for WWE, is that true? He's like, "No, the reason he was fired was not because he was gay. It had nothing to do with his personal life. It had to do with the fact that as a performer, like he just wasn't cutting the mustard. Like basically, like
he said he wasn't good. His actual quote was, he wasn't good."
So I mean, it's 50-50 because it's like, as a technical wrestler, yes, he was great on the mic, and as an entertainer, there was some feeling aspects of it. But the issue is that everyone's trying to come at John Cena for him saying that he wasn't good. It's like, oh, you're saying that's because he's gay. Like, it had nothing to do with him and his sexual preference. It had to do with the fact that as a company man, he had to back the company, and he's like, he just wasn't good enough to stay.
Yeah, that's why I was asking, what did he say? Like, did he say something derogatory? Because if he's just talking about,
he didn't say anything derogatory.
Yeah, so they have no reason to cancel John Cena in that case.
In the context of how it was brought up, though. But in the context that I was brought up, it looks like, like, oh, he's painted as the bad guy.
What, Rick? What?
I said it was.
Her was like 2020. I mean 2021. Shit. Shit. No.
How you heard Blerds? How you heard Blerds a year?
Go ahead and cancel shit. So I mean, it's just like
I'm starting it right here, right now. Cancel Herb. Cancel Herb. God damn it. We're canceling you right now.
We're not canceling Herb.
Herb's canceling the English language because he can't even.
But yeah, I just don't see, like, I can see if he got on because I watched the episode, heard his conversation, Chris Canyon's conversation between him and Ric Flair, and Ric Flair basically explaining you just didn't have what it takes. You didn't have what it takes to be there. And they, even back then, they had a certain standard. I'm not saying that standard was right or was appropriate. I'm not saying that at all. And I don't agree with the way they do
Ric Flair definitely regrets how he said it, though, because you got to keep in mind, Ric Flair was one of his idols, and his idols is like, you ain't shit.
Yeah, Ric Flair went on Howard Stern and said that. Real quick, in the comments on Facebook, Aaron Toll coming with the fire. He said, that's rich coming from a guy who is legit about to be fired, if not for Stephanie McMahon having an idea of him being a heel wigger. I mean, listen.
He found that entertaining aspect, though.
Damn.
I mean,
but he's right though. Like Cena was on his way out the door. Then he rapped at that goddamn Christmas party, and Stephanie's intervention was just like,
Stephanie's like, hey, I'm feeling this urban flair. John Cena's from the streets. He can rap. I too am a hip hop fan. Stephanie's like, I too like the raps. So
it's the idea of a black guy without all of the threats.
You can't cancel Weekend Herb. He doesn't know the meaning of the word. God damn it.
Keep on coming, guys. Just keep on going.
Fire back.
Fuck them. Keep on coming, but you're watching the show.
Listen, y'all gonna keep fucking with Herb.
Did y'all just peep that comeback from Herb, though?
No, listen, I was about to warn everybody. Y'all gonna keep on coming to my man, and then one day he's gonna machine gun unload on everybody, and then we're gonna be sitting here ducking this shit.
No. Y'all, all right. That went under the radar. I caught
y'all still watching the show.
Hey, we got our viewers up, so let's go.
Hey, let's go. So
now buy some merch, you motherfuckers.
BlerdsandWhiskey.com. So the one other question I wanted to ask on this topic. So I think we can all agree that Chris Kanyon was a trailblazer for many people of alternative lifestyles in the wrestling community, because now we have people like what's her name, Lana Rhodes in AEW. Even though he came in after, it was a black guy who's wrestling. Orlando
Jordan, yes, who was bisexual. You have people like what's the guy's name from AEW? He used to go by Exolicious in Lucha Underground. Sonny Kiss. You got Sonny Kiss. You got like Tegan Knox. You got the one on SmackDown who teamed up with the blonde chick.
Tony Storm.
No. The dude who teamed up with the blonde one, Mandy Rose. She teamed up with Mandy Rose.
Oh,
Sonya Deville. Sonya Deville.
We've had
Shayna Baszler. I mean,
keep in mind back in the day. Manager. Keep in mind back in the day, lesbianism was way more acceptable than homosexuality. So we had more lesbians who were wrestlers than we had anything else. They might not have been out. And then they may be more out. Now, hell, we had Trish Stratus and Mickie James doing the HLA. They got literal HLA chants. And it's this borderline PG era. So it's different.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. It's a very layered topic, you know what I mean? And we also got to remember this. Back in that day, like, it was just, for some reason, everybody was weird, very weird and very odd about sexuality and uncomfortable with it. But we've transitioned to a point to where it's accepted, and these are who people are, and we like them for who they are as entertainers and performers, and not for their sexual proclivities. I don't give a shit what you do in the bedroom, just as long as you help me deal with these kids at work. I don't give a shit what you do. So, you know what I mean? And it's, unfortunately, we've moved to that as a society now.
Yeah, I mean, like I said,
Sam, you back now?
Yeah, it's 2021. Like, to think about it now, like I said, it's not really like that shock value of like, oh my God, like, oh, you know, like the joke or shock value. Like, but again, it's back then, like, it was a different era. So like, and the worst part about it though, and that's what all of his friends are saying, is that like all of his friends are like, yo, we all knew. Like, even if he didn't tell us, we all knew. Like, if he just straight up just was like, yo, like half the time when he comes out, they're like, so what's the secret? What's the shock? What are you telling us? Like, there probably been a bigger shock is if he went to, like, I don't know, blerdsandwhiskey.com and decided to go on our promo page into the beard struggle, and, you know, so you can get like the whole full beard. He could have been a lumberjack. He could have been a mountain man. He could have done a William Regal man's man gimmick. He could have went on beardstruggle.com, used the promo code Blerds1, grew out a full beard. So it says, who's better than Canyon? No one, because I got this beard from Beard Struggle. You got the beard balm, you know, the beard balms, the scruff bombs, the oils, the daytime and nighttime oils, the scented oils, the shampoos, the conditioners, the beard combs, the beard brushes, the hot combs. All that stuff would have been great.
All of it was Norse themed, and he could have changed his character gimmick to Balder the Brave.
Wow.
He could have made a second comeback as Mortis with a full beard. Who knows?
That would have been sick. I actually enjoy Mortis.
Fab, leave us alone. So what?
Hey, look, I get in where I fit in.
Yeah. All right. Okay, so last thing today, gentlemen. Rest in peace, Chris Kane, of course. But last topic of the day. So we've got the announcement of a new Warner Brothers DC animated film coming out. It's basically going to be based on the Injustice video games and comic. Firstly, how do you guys feel about that getting a animated adaptation?
Can I start? I'm gonna start.
Sure.
I'm gonna start. If you want to see the Injustice movie, go on YouTube. Type in Injustice Games, all of the cutscenes, and you'll have a better time than this shit animated movie that's coming out. I looked at the trailer and I immediately turned it off 5 seconds into it. Fuck this movie. This is the animation style of Batman, the old show that started in '92, when DC has done so much better with their animation, not in recent years. But yeah, fuck this movie. I'm just gonna watch all the cutscenes on YouTube again.
Basically.
Yeah.
All right. I guess you guys all agreed with that. Anybody else?
Oh, yeah.
No, this shit.
Mr. Proper.
Of course, I've always enjoyed. I'm really not looking at their stuff for their animation. I'm more so looking at it because I enjoy watching comics, and they're the most accurate as far as the comics are concerned. And this is not something that they have to dive 100 years, 60 years back in history to get a backstory of it. This comic is fairly recent, within the last 10 to 15 years. They have a video game that's very extensive and does explain a lot of things, like Rick Stroh said. It may be animated better because it's made for a video game, but animation style, I don't think it's going to be too bad. We grew up on Batman animated series. We grew up on Superman Adventures. We grew up on that stuff. So for me, I'm going to get a nostalgic feel. I'm hoping that I'm getting a nostalgic feel out of it. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm saying that with through gritted teeth. I'm going to try it at least. So I'll be here for it.
Trey, if you buy it, let me see it.
Okay. Yo, I'm gonna go ahead and just start. We'll just start with the animation of Injustice in general. Like, that shit looks like Johnny Quest from like back in the day in the '60s, with like the stiff ass, overly shadowed, like to cover up the fact that they have no detail animation. The random lines for fake details, so it looks like they're doing more than it really isn't. The joint's stiff. I don't even know about the voice actors. It's just that, like,
ooh, no, I just looked it up. Yeah, I just saw the voice actors. Kevin Pollak is going to be the Joker. Anson Mount, Anson Mount is Batman. No, what the hell happened to Kevin? Where's Kevin Conroy? Okay, now,
Trey, when you go and buy it, let me just see.
So here's my little mini rant about the DC, what I say the decline of the DC animation universe. Mm-hmm. It was a struggle at first. I say 2000 was a bit of a struggle. But like from like 2002 and all the way up to like 2011, it was just pretty much top tier stuff. I do feel like that the DC animated universe, because all they had was like a bunch of Batman cartoons and then like one or two Superman and then like one Wonder Woman that whole time period, that pretty much spawned everyone to think about how Batman is now. So that pretty much gave birth to all these Batman fanboys who thinks Batman with prep time can do anything, because all the DC universe did is focus on was Batman. But unfortunately, there was a decline that happened because, Marvel was trying to do their backup. Marvel was trying to do their animated universe, their straight to DVD, and a lot of stuff was lacking. And then, unfortunately, in 2011, we lost a great one, Dwayne McDuffie, who was like pretty much the Kevin Feige of the DC animated universe. He's the one who was in charge of creating all the universes and overseeing a lot of stuff that happened. His vision was on Paramount on like how it was going. I believe posthumous, his last thing he did was Justice League, the Justice League Crisis. When that happened, that was after that, everything left over from that Crisis on had people from Marvel jumping ship over to DC, having to downplay everything that happened. So the problems that were in Marvel ended up happening over DC. So I feel like that happened with the decline of everything that happened with the DC animated universe. They lost their vision. They lost their forefront, the steam.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Under the Red Hood was the last good DC movie, in my opinion. That was the last.
That was a good one.
That was the last good one, because I mean, like they tried to do the Long Halloween or death in the family, not Death in the Family, Death of the Family. Which one was the one where the Joker shot Batgirl?
That was
the Killing Joke. They did the Killing Joke, but then they added in this weird family incest scene that just was not necessary.
It was not incest. They're not related. Don't do that. Don't say that.
It's Bat-Cest.
I was about to say
Bat-Cest. Really? Yeah. Bat-Cest? Name of the episode. Bat-Cest.
Are you sure? Because we will do that.
We will definitely go all the way with that.
It's already is what it is. It is.
No, but I thought Hush was damn good, in my opinion.
Hush was good.
The Riddler was Hush.
Yeah.
The Riddler was Hush.
Not
The Riddler
We
was
know,
Hush.
but it was you can't. It was they were tying it into. We didn't, but
that's because they beat that shit up. Like,
yeah, I didn't see that coming. You're not gonna see this spear coming when I come up to your house in an hour and a half.
Anyway, I thought it was acceptable. They tied it in with the whole Batman Catwoman relationship because in the comics they were teasing them finally getting together. So you got a little animated version of that. The Constantine movies have been pretty good, in my opinion. And Justice League versus Teen Titans, it was a little campy, but I enjoyed that. The introduction of Damian Wayne, they were pushing him as a character hard for a while because he was a new Robin. He's retired now in the comics, but that's besides the point. He was dead and he can't. Everybody dies in comics.
Yo, Chuck Clark said Bat-Cest now in pumpkin spice flavors. Shut the fuck up.
Hey, no. Let's go back to Killing Joke real quick. Like, how is Batman gonna be sitting there standing next to Commissioner Gordon after he banged his daughter on the rooftop? Talk about something. Yeah. Hey, I got the bat signal up. Yeah, that's what's up, man. What's going on? Oh yeah, man. Joker's going crazy. Yeah, that's nuts, man.
Look. Batman meets Jim on the roof. Jim is sitting on the roof with a cup of coffee and an oatmeal cream pie. And Batman goes, "You know who else likes cream pies?" Like, what the hell is happening here?
Oh Jesus! I've seen your daughter's birthmark, Jim.
Barbara loves.
It's also rough shapes.
Barbara loves cream pies.
What was that? What was that college humor where they had Batman going crazy for sex?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Look that up for real. Like, who's the one? Flashpoint Paradox was also probably, like, in my opinion, also last great one too. But like in general, like, they've lacked a lot of what made, like, Under the Red Hood character development, good writing, good adaptation. Like, none of that, all that was missing from the past few ones, like Justice League War, which is the new 52 version of Justice League or DC comics.
Yeah. That movie had one of the greatest scenes in the history of animated movies.
I know what he's talking about.
Yeah. No, Green Lantern has got this.
I've got this.
Yo, Green Lantern was a joke the entire time. Like, Darkseid broke his arm. Is this the one that holds the ring?
But why did the parademons become hood niggas and just start stomping them?
Hey, you know what? For those, follow hashtag Camism Camism hashtag on IG. I'm about to post my version of that scene because I've been sitting on that one for a while.
Yeah. You know what?
That's a perfect way I can just segue into this one. I'm about to post that one in a minute.
That might be my first TikTok. that might be my first.
Oh yeah,
TikTok.
announcement. Rick Stroh has a TikTok. Now we just have to get Miss Rita, and the plan will be complete. Georgia, one of us.
Hilarious.
Yeah, exactly, Aaron. Green Lantern getting jumped is never not funny. The fact that Flash had to do more to save him. And he kept going. And then Brownside's like, I'm going to break your arm.
But the Hal just had such confidence. Green Lantern's got this. Check out the light show. And then he just punches Darkseid. And Darkseid, like he's swatting up, bitch.
and then after he hits the parademons in less than a split second, just like already just like mauling.
Horrible question for you guys. Just random question to start thinking about this. Do you think that if they retooled the suit and he accepted doing it, do you think that Ryan Reynolds would be a good to reprise his role as Hal Jordan going forward?
No,
because Hal Jordan is too serious, and I mean that's not the character of Ryan Reynolds. That
also goes and ties into the fact that I'm telling you that Ryan Reynolds is next to being because he's been in DC Universe as Green Lantern, which proves my point that Ryan Reynolds is probably Mephisto.
So real
up
quick,
to it.
Hold on. Like I actually have a valid point. So I'm gonna do a Rick deep dive real quick. So what most people don't know is that role came down to 3 people. The last 3 finalists for that role, I'm gonna go down the line. It was Justin Timberlake, Ryan Reynolds, and Bradley Cooper. And I said it then when I found out about it. I said they can't cast Justin Timberlake because gross. Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool, and he's meant to be Deadpool. He's literally Deadpool come to life off the page. Yeah. I said Bradley Cooper is the one that could actually do the range and actually do Hal Jordan the correct way. You know what I mean? Like Hal isn't. See, Ryan Reynolds is trying to do Ryan Reynolds is Hal Jordan. That's not who Hal Jordan is.
Don't work.
Hal Jordan is more straight lace, a more straight man than he is.
He's a fighter pilot.
Yeah, exactly. And Bradley Cooper has the range to do that. And some people be like, "Oh, well, he's playing Rocket in fucking Guardians of the Galaxy." That's voice acting. It doesn't really matter. I think Bradley Cooper still is the best pick to be a live action Hal Jordan because he has the size to be him, and he also can play that. Like, go and look at what's the movie he did with the
Limitless?
No, Limit. There you go, Herb. Appreciate it. Limitless. Go look at Limitless, and that can be his portrayal of Hal Jordan.
That would be Hal Jordan. Imagine him after they do if they redid Death of Superman the right fucking way, and then you have Mongol coming down, destroying Coast City, and he's going crazy, and he goes to kill all the guards. Yo.
So what you're saying is if DCU gets their act together, they could actually make they can make Hal Jordan Parallax, and he could be the big bad. He could be their Thanos. Yeah, might as well.
But, I don't know about making them like on that level. 0 Hour is a great comic. Yes, look it up.
But he could be their Phase 1 villain.
Hey, yes, guys, real quick, can we up to it, down to it? Because I gotta pee.
All right.
Guys, like, share, subscribe on all social media platforms. As always, up to it, down to it. Fuck those who don't do it. We do it because we used to it.
Drink, motherfucker, drink.
I'm cold, baby.
Ryan Reynolds is Mephisto.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and that Technicolor rainbow in between, it's your boy Trey Proper.
It's your boy Big Herb.
And thank you for watching Blerds and Whiskey.
Be sure to like, share, subscribe on all social media platforms.
And check us out on blerdsandwhiskey.com.
Be sure to get that merch.
And come take this shot.